So, in lieu of a summary of her life and accomplishments, here are some short blurbs about her provided by various friends and exes. Poet, West Virginian, owner of at least 2 purse swords. Don't mess with her. Good roommate, better friend, even better big spoon. Nina's stress cooking and cleaning has saved me from contributing to our household too many times to count. This was not Cameron. The human version of a Trader Joe's food blurb. Like a box full of kittens wearing glasses. Excellent amateur carpenter. A pride parade float in the shape of a unicorn made entirely of chapbooks. A mug of sparkletini on a Friday night. She enters the dangerous territory of word choice and clever Facebook statuses, so you don't have to. Nina Sabak is the unnamed, omniscient narrator character in every third-person young adult fantasy ever written. She'd get along swimmingly with my grandparents. Nina Sabak and her cookies.
So, 2 years ago, I read immediately before Cameron Barnett when we were first years. And I'm going to paraphrase what he said at the time, which is that I hate to follow Cameron, all I do is win Barnett. So I'm going to read for my thesis tonight because I like to live dangerously, and there are a couple things you should know. This is set in 2003 in West Virginia, and the main character is an adolescent Russian girl, so I'm really stretching myself here. But I do want you to know that I do not endorse her views of popular tourist destinations in West Virginia that will become relevant in a second. Her best friend has just moved to Indiana, and the beginning is a series of emails they're exchanging. So Sophia is the main character, and Jenna is her friend. So, remember the last time your parents took us to Pittsburgh? It was your birthday, right? I went again before we moved, but I don't think you were there. Okay, so you remember we let you pick the restaurant, and you wanted the museum cafe because you're a nerd, and then your parents bought us all tickets to see the dinosaurs? But the dinosaur part is connected to the art part, so we wandered around until we found these paintings that were just different colors, like no people or anything. Do you remember who painted those? Because Josh invited me to the art museum and I don't know anything about art, so it would be good to have something to say. Have you been there this summer? If you go, tell the T-Rexes I say hi. What are you up to? Hi Jenna. You know that describes like half the stuff we saw, right? Haven't been to Pittsburgh yet, but my aunt and uncle went up for a concert a couple weeks ago and will not stop telling us that the symphony is only okay this year, especially when my mom says she would like to hear it. Not up to much. My dad and I went to the fort yesterday to see if they had any good demonstrations. Turns out no, but we stayed for an hour anyway, and he told me for the millionth time about how much the woods around Pickett's Fort remind him of being a kid in the countryside. I think he only came to America because he found a part that looks like Russia. Also, does this mean Josh asked you on a date? A real date? Dear Soph, the blue painting. The really big one you liked so much. It was a guy who painted it, I think, but that's all I remember. And, well, he asked me to go to the museum and said he'd buy my tickets, so I'm pretty sure that it's a real date. Don't tell my mom, though, because I said I was going with Alyssa. You know how my parents are. They gave me the talk twice, and I don't want to make it 3. Jenna. I'm going to call your mom right now and tell on you. Mostly because I want to see if she'll give you more information the 3rd time. Remember how we had to look up uterus because she got mad and said she wasn't going to feed our imaginations? Anyway, I think I know who you mean. The big painting that was just different kinds of blue and yellow, that was Mark Rothko. I googled him just now to be sure, and that's like all he did. Big paintings of colors. They're pretty. Hey Soph. Yeah, that's him. Okay, thanks. And of course you like him, weirdo. I've been telling everyone here that my best friend likes art that doesn't even have anything in it. And don't you dare, she would kill me and then I would come back from the dead and kill you too. The most fun thing you can do in Fairmont is go someplace else. The state capital is 3 hours south, but I've only been there a few times because the Gerstlers don't like it. People here think we're strange, but at least they've probably been out of the state. And Charleston is so deep in coal country that there's nothing else around. Pittsburgh is under 2 hours north though, and there are actually other Russians, so pretty much everything we do that's worthwhile happens there. Like my birthday last May. For some reason, I really liked the idea of turning 13 in a different state. and it wasn't hard to persuade my parents. They had just finished teaching their school year and had that get me out of Fairmont look in their eyes. Jenna came because obviously she was going to come, and she gave me a present in the car on the way back, a fancy journal from a boutique in Morgantown. I have a ton of journals because that's all anyone ever gives you once they know you like to write, but hers was better than my other ones. It had an S at the bottom of each page, and it had a ribbon sewn into the spine so you can mark your place. That was my favorite birthday, I think. Turning 14 was pretty good, but it was during the time Jenna wasn't telling me about Indiana, so that sort of ruins it in retrospect. But 14 isn't as exciting as 13. When you turn 13, you're finally a teenager. And when you turn 14, you're just 13 plus 1, and you still have to eat in a cafeteria. I need to say something and I don't know how. I need to say that I was jealous of Jenna and Josh. I need to say that I hated him for taking this one memory she and I had and making it different, for turning my blue painting into something she'd want to impress him with. When we found my painting, we were lost. I'd been to the Carnegie many times, but always with my parents guiding, and on this day they'd split off and gone to the Egyptian gallery, as though they understood how important it was to be 13 with just one other person. I loved them for this, and didn't even know until later. I was the one who saw it. Jenna had been cracking me up all through the modern art wing, and the museum guards shushed us in the impressionist room. But all of a sudden it was just me and this dumb, wonderful painting on the wall. All kinds of colors. Yellows and oranges and blues I didn't know the name for. Blues that swirled and billowed and made me sad and warm all at once. Look at that, I said. Cool, Jenna said. No, I said, look at it. For real. There was sky blue and sea blue and foggy day blue and incense in the morning blue. There was yellow like the buttercups we used to hold under each other's chins to tell our fortunes, and yellow like a blanket I had had once when I was very small. And all around it orange, just orange, familiar as a carrot. We stood there. Jenna didn't say anything. After a while, she reached over and took my hand in hers and squeezed it, and I squeezed back. I still don't get it, she said, but it's pretty. Her skin was soft and dry, and I ran my thumb over the back of her palm. I wanted so badly for her to see this one thing. It seemed obscene that after all this time I couldn't just show her, couldn't explain how perfect this one painting in a whole museum of paintings was. She dropped my hand and my heart panged, but she was only putting her arm around my shoulder. She hugged me to her side and I smelled her Jenna scent, vanilla and peaches and skin. Happy birthday, she said. I got you colors. I love them, I said, and meant I love you. If I could have stayed there forever, if I could have walked into the painting with her, if I could have put my nose to her hair and breathed in deep, 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 until my lungs were full to bursting, until my heart was a wild fist in my chest, until I understood that at some recent point I had stopped being a child but hadn't yet started being anything else, until I understood any of it. She said, come on, I want to see art that looks like something. But neither of us moved. I was sweating hard under my new Sunday blouse. My arms were hanging at my sides, and I thought about putting one around her waist, but then I would just sweat harder and she would be able to tell. One of the museum guards came around the corner then, and Jenna let go of me. The guard was a woman who looked about our mother's age, and I might have liked her under different circumstances. She smiled at us and said, "Can I help you ladies with anything?" Jenna was already halfway across the room and heading for Andy Warhol. No, I said. My parents always told me to be polite, but if the guard hadn't come in then, maybe I could have stayed there with Jenna a little longer. I wanted to know how long she would have kept her arm around me, and now I would never know, because she didn't touch me again that day. Not in the museum, and not in the car, and not when we dropped her off at her own house that night after stopping for dinner in a highway-side Wendy's. Not like that, anyway. Not like that again. I hated Josh because he was a lifeguard, and he was cute, and he was going to see beautiful things with my best friend. And if he put his arm around her, I knew she wouldn't move away. Thank you.